Good day and welcome to another episode of The League of Biblical Enthusiasts. Well, will wonders never cease? We are finally moving away from English Bible translations to a brand new topic. A topic, however, that is very close to the idea of the translations. For without a source text, you have no translation. And what are these source texts? In the case of the Greek New Testament, of course, it will be Greek manuscripts, the primary source for the New Testament. So we move on to that topic called Manuscript Hunters. How did these Greek New Testaments come to us? Are there few? Are there many? In what condition are they? Do they differ from one another? And so we're going to have a very exciting series, as we said, called Manuscript Hunters, that tells us the story of those who brought to us these texts from the Greek New Testament. Now, a little background. Interest in the holy relics of the earliest Christian period goes back to the times of Saint Helena of Constantinople, the mother of Emperor Constantine the Great, who ruled the Roman Empire from 306 to 337 AD. And it's Eusebius of Caesarea who records her journeys for us. Constantine gave Helena unlimited access to the imperial treasury so that she could travel and locate the relics of the earliest Christian tradition. And in her final years, she made a pilgrimage to Syria, Palestina, and Jerusalem, during which ancient tradition tells us she found the true cross of Christ, among other things. Well, Helena left Jerusalem in 327 AD and returned to Rome. She brought with her large parts of the true cross and those other relics, which were then stored in her palace's private chapel, now in the Basilica of the Holy Cross in Jerusalem. That basilica is in Rome, although it's named the Basilica of the Holy Cross in Jerusalem. And they can still be seen today. So during and after that time, these Greek manuscripts continued to be copied and continued to be translated into other languages of the surrounding region as the Christian movement spread into Egypt, into Ethiopia, into Syria, into Turkey, Georgia, Armenia, and other parts of the empire. Now, skip forward 1,000 years until we've come to the humanist movement. And the humanist movement concentrated on finding copies of Greco-Roman works of antiquity and was marked by the generation of Petrarch, who lived 1304 to 1374. Petrarch actively looked for manuscripts, and he built up, which was for his day, a remarkable library. Another scholar in this Renaissance movement was Lorenzo Valla, who's remembered for proving that the donation of Constantine was a forgery. And if you're not familiar with the donation of Constantine, look that up, and it's quite an interesting story. Now, many others could be named in this Renaissance quest for ancient documents, but one stands out for our purposes, and that is Erasmus of Rotterdam. Erasmus was a Catholic priest, and he pioneered new Latin and Greek scholarly additions to the New Testament and to the Church Fathers. The number of Greek New Testament manuscripts that we now possess in fragments or complete, varying states of preservation, as of October 2023, is somewhere hovering around 5,700 or so. Most of these are small in size, and they range from as small as a postage stamp to single pages, partial books, and complete books, and leading up to complete New Testaments. Additionally, there are over 15,000 manuscripts in other translations like Latin, Armenian, Syriac, Coptic, Ethiopic, Gothic, and Georgian. The textual basis for the King James Bible is essentially a handful of late Greek manuscripts that range in date from the 12th to the 15th century and that were known to Erasmus during the time he put together his Greek New Testament. Now, since the printing of the King James Bible, we have come to know thousands of other manuscripts that have aided our quest in the search for the earliest form of the New Testament. How did these manuscripts come to our attention? Well, some came by accidental discovery, but many by intentional search. And this is the focus of our new series, Manuscript Hunters. We will devote ourselves to learning about the personalities and places that gave us access to this treasury of ancient documents of the New Testament. And we confine ourselves to those who were specifically interested in ancient Greek manuscripts of the New Testament. The story of Old Testament finds may occupy us at a later date. But we begin with the 18th century up to the present and discuss the lives and works of these individuals: Robert Curzon, Samuel Prideaux Tregelles, Constantine Tischendorf, Kersop Lake, James Rendell Harris, the Sisters of Sinai, fascinating story, Grenfell and Hunt, Chester Beatty, Martin Bodmer, and Dan Wallace. This is not an exhaustive list, but representative of the main personalities in this quest for ancient Greek manuscripts. And along the way, we will discuss some important discoveries that did come to us by way of accident, such as the two Egyptian brothers who were digging for fertilizer and uncovered the Nag Hammadi documents. I hope this series will be informative, inspiring, and educational. So stay tuned next week for the first episode from the new series Manuscript Hunters as we begin with Robert Curzon and his search for ancient Greek manuscripts of the New Testament. Brought to you by none other than the League of Biblical Enthusiasts.